crazy stops, and sometimes I don't know what is going on in his head, but like yeah, he makes me happy because of all that stupid things he do.
Okay. I guess we all need a friend like that. We all need a very
Yeah,
crazy friend to spice up our life. That's okay. Good to know that you have a friend a little bit crazy like that. Well, I have this article over here. It's called English Department News, and you'll help me reading it. Would you mind? It's a Student of the Month, Merida Quartet. Can you help me reading that?
okay. Student of the month, Melita Cortez. How long have you been living here? I've been living in Mexico City for 5 years. I came here to go to school, or originally it's a great place to live. Have you ever lived in another country? No, I haven't, but my brother has. He has been living in Bogota, Colombia for almost a year now. I'm going to visit him later this year. What kind of music are you listening to currently? Well, of course, I love Latin music. I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now. I like to listen to music when I paint. What's your favorite way of spending an evening? What do you do? I like to go out with my friends. We go and eat someplace and then go dancing all night. When did you last buy yourself a treat? Last week, actually, I was at a friend's art studio and I fell in love with one of her paintings, so I bought it. What did you do for your last birthday? I went home and had a big party with my family. What's the nicest thing anyone has ever done for you? 6 months ago, I was sad that I didn't know how to drive, so he paid me for some driving lessons. I was 3.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Um. So, can I answer you now?
Sorry?
Ooh. Can I continue?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Um, when what's who or what is the greatest love for your life? Oh, chocolate. I can't get through the day without some. What were you doing at this time yesterday? I was sitting on the bus. We were stuck in traffic for an hour.
Yeah, good. Thank
Yeah.
you so very much. I love your English. Well, look, we have
Thank
these
you.
questions because we're getting to know Melida Cortez. She's a student,
Mhm.
and she went through all of these questions just to give us the glance of how interesting her life is, even though it's completely different to one another, right? So I would like to make some of these questions to you. If you want, you can answer. If you want, you let me know and we pass. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
My first question will be, have you ever lived in another country?
I'm sorry.
My first question will be, have you ever lived in another country?
Melita?
Hello?
Hello,
Is
can
my
you hear
internet?
me?
Yes, I can hear
Um,
you perfectly. Can you hear me? Can you
yes,
hear me?
yes.
Can you see me?
Um, yes. Yes, I do. Um,
Okay, here,
what is your
here
first?
we will go through some of these questions. My first question will be, have you ever lived in another country?
Me?
Yes?
No, no. All my life, I've been living here in Vietnam. Yeah.
Okay. Have you any friend who has lived in another country?
My cousins, actually. My cousins are living in the USA, in California, and my other cousins are living in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's super nice. Now, my next question will be, what did you do for your last birthday?
I think we just like me and my family. We were just like going to a restaurant and had dinner at the restaurant, and then it's the end of my birthday. There's no many happy things happen, but it's enough.
Oh, okay, that's very nice. I almost all the time do the same, but my mom
Yeah.
comes over and she cooks for me, and we have dinner at home most of the time. But that's nice too. Okay, and my next question is, what's the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for you?
My parents, they, I'm so, I'm so all the things that they have me. My education, my education with Antoree, with you, my English, my money. They give me the books. Yeah.
Okay. Well, parents are the greatest thing that we have, right? They're the sweetest and they're like the best and they spoil us all the time. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
No, I'm the only child. I don't have any siblings.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Well, I have a little sister and I have a little brother. Well, they are not that little
Oh,
anymore,
that's
but they're
so
younger than
great.
me.
Ooh.
And I have one more question. What kind of music are you listening to currently?
Uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess there is a problem with the internet because the signal is kind of lag. The screen is
Yeah.
lagging. But here we go
Yeah,
again
yeah.
with my question. What kind of music are you listening to currently?
I don't like just listen to one specific kind of music. I listen to all kinds of music, but I always love the music of Girl in Red. She's a teenage singer, and all her songs are so great. Recently, I have always listened to her music. I think it's pop music. I don't know much
Okay,
about music.
okay. Is there any American singer you like?
Um, no, Shaman, just no, no. They are so beautiful. They are so talented.
Okay, could you repeat that again because I couldn't hear you? Let me see if I can take this off. Could you repeat that again about your favorite singer?
My two favorite American singers are Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift.
Okay, nice. I like Ariana Grande very much. I think she's very, very, very talented.
Yeah.
Yes, she is indeed.
Yeah.
Is there any of these questions that we have here that you would like to make for me?
Mm, what kind of music are you listening to currently?
Oh, well, that's a very good question, and I will respond the same way you did. I like a very huge variety of genre of music. I like
Mm-hmm.
very much, and if we think about pop music, I will say that I like this girl, Dua Lipa.
Ooh.
Dua Lipa, do you know her?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. She's so
Uh,
talented.
Yeah, she's a good pop singer. But then, if I go back to basics, I would say that I was a very huge fan of Backstreet Boys. I don't know if you know them because they're a little bit
I don't.
all. Yes, but
And
I was a huge fan of Backstreet Boys back in the 90s when I was young.
hmm, what's the nicest thing anyone has done to you?
Oh well, I have very good friends around me all the time. I can brag about the friends I have. And I have
Mm,
I worked in a school, and one of these mornings I had to go to school to work with my students, and
mhm.
my best friend passed by and she gave me a cup of coffee she made for me, and then I had
Ooh,
one morning she made for me, and it was a great coffee. So I think that's one of the nicest things that anyone has ever done for me.
oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other question?
Mm, what is your hobby? Not the question is not here, but like, what is your hobby?
Well, I love watching TV and listening to music.
Mm,
So I would say that's kind of my hobby now. It's been changing over the years because I love to read long back ago, but now I've been a little bit lazy. So I change into TV programs and movies and Netflix TV series. So I go over that most of the time lately. Yeah,
oh
kind
yeah,
of.
me too.
Okay. We kind of went through this question already, and we're going to listen
Hmm.
and read the information that we had here about Melida, just to check on fluency and all that stuff. And then, while you listen, I want you to pay attention about what's the correct grammar for these questions, okay? And for this listening, let me see, I will have to go back because this book will request me to go online. Mhm. Let me know if you can listen to the audio or if
Yeah.
you can.
Touchstone Students Book, Level 4, Page 2, Unit 1, Interesting Lives. Lesson A, Interviews. 1. Getting started. B. Listen and read. Do you have anything in common with Melita? Tell a partner. English Department News. Student of the Month, Melita Cortez. You should really get to know Melita Cortez, a graduate student in our English department. Also a talented artist, she spends her free time painting, and she started a sculpture class last month. She hopes one day to have an exhibition of her work. How long have you been living here?
I've been living in Mexico City for 5 years. I came here to go to school originally. It's a great place to live.
Have you ever lived in another country?
No, I haven't. But my brother has. He's been living in Bogota, Colombia for almost a year now. I'm going to visit him later this year.
What kind of music are you listening to currently?
Well, of course I love Latin music. I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now. I like to listen to music when I paint.
What's your favorite way of spending an evening? What do you do?
I like to go out with my friends. We go and eat someplace and then go dancing all night.
When did you last buy yourself a treat?
Last week, actually. I was at a friend's art studio and I fell in love with one of her paintings. So I bought it.
What did you do for your last birthday?
I went home and had a big party with my family.
What's the nicest thing anyone has ever done for you?
Actually, about 6 months ago, I was complaining to my dad that I didn't know how to drive. So he paid for some driving lessons. I was thrilled.
Who or what is the greatest love of your life?
Oh, chocolate! I can't get through the day without some.
What were you doing at this time yesterday?
I was sitting on a bus. We were stuck in traffic for an hour.
Is there anything that you can compare or can you find similar to Melida?
I think, no. There's
No?
nothing in common between me and Melita.
Okay, good. It says choose the best verse from the complete the questions. Use the interview verb to help you. Then ask and answer the questions with a partner. I will be your partner at every moment, and we will be discussing about the grammar structure. So right here, I have these questions. I want you to tell me what would you think would be the correct answer for this. For number 1.
What book are you reading currently? Yeah.
Good. Do you think in this question, this is an ongoing situation? This is something that is permanent, something that already finished? How would you describe this question?
What? I'm sorry?
Would you say this question refers to an ongoing situation, like a permanent situation, or something that already happened?
I think this question is like, it's going on right now.
Absolutely, very good. What about the number 2?
What did you do for your last birthday?
Yes, I would say that this is a completed action, correct? This is not ongoing. Very good. What about the number 3?
Have you ever lived in the United States?
Absolutely. The 3 of them are correct. And there are 3. Yes. And what I want to underline here, and I want you to pay close attention to, is what I asked you before about ongoing situations, completed actions or completed situations, and temporary situations. How long have you ever lived in the United States? It means that it could be for a short period of time. It's not a completed action. It's not an ongoing action, but we have different tenses that may help us identify that. Here I have a chart. It says simple verbs are for completed actions or permanent situations. And then we have continuous verbs are for ongoing actions or temporary situations. In grammar, ongoing situation or continuous verbs are the ones that we always find with ing form. Can you see that here?
Yeah.
The simple verbs are the ones that are not exactly conjugated, like listen or love. Can you help me reading these questions and answers?
What kind of music do you listen to? I love Latin music. I listen to it a lot.
Completed actions, permanent situations. Something that happens at the moment and it's a completed action. You know what I mean with a completed action? So that it finished at a certain point. It finished in the present or it finished in the past. But we have continuous verb or ongoing actions. Can you help me reading this other question over here?
What kind of music are you listening to currently? I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now.
Very good. So this is something that is happening in the moment. It's an ongoing action.
Yeah.
Now, we have completed actions and ongoing actions, and we have 3 different tenses. We have the present perfect, and the past. Are you familiarized with tenses, with this grammar?
Pardon me?
Are you familiarized with this grammar? Do you know what the present perfect, and the past is?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I know you do because the previous exercise you did very well. So now, In spite of the grammar, present, perfect, or past, I want you also to use the verbs to complete these sentences, but thinking about what type of situation it is. Is something that is going on, or is it something that already finished, something completed? So let's finish this exercise together.
Yeah.
Let me move it up. It's because this hand is very, very slow for me. I'm too hyper for this. It says, use the simple past for completed events, not the past continuous. My birthday was great. My friends came. So something important to remember is that there are sentences like the simple past or the simple present that they will always refer to completed actions, actions that finished. So that's something important to take into consideration. So now it says, complete the conversation, use the simple or continuous form of the verb in the present, present perfect, or past. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. So here, you will help me complete these sentences, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Use the verbs in the parentheses and I will be here along with you.
Okay.
What have you been doing for fun lately?
Well, I have been taking kickboxing classes for the past few months. It's a lot of fun, and I got in pretty good shape.
Very good. Yes. Yes. What happened? This action must be continuous, must be ongoing because there is an ongoing question. So I respond with an ongoing answer, correct? I've been taking kickboxing classes. Well, I'm not really good at that, but that's what it means, right? But then I can tell that I got in pretty good shape because after all the exercise, that's something that is completed. My shape is good. Bunny ears, okay? So that's very good. We go with the number 2.
Who is the most interesting person you know? Well, I think my best friend is interesting. She has been living in Europe for 3 years she has lived in Europe for 3 years when she grew up.
Okay. I would say you're correct. It says, well, I think my best friend is interesting. She lived in Europe for 3 years, or she has lived in Europe for 3 years. Both of them can be correct because when we use the present perfect, it expresses a duration of time. We don't really know if you want to mean that if she lived there from this point to this point, or she lived there just in the past. So we can use the past or the present perfect. However, it says for 3 years when, how did you finish that sentence?
When she grew up.
When she grew up, correct. Here is where we will have to change because we will have a completed action and we have a connector here that it says when this point happened, this other thing was going on. You get my point? When we have this connector to complete this idea, it means that when this action happened in the past or in a progressive moment in the past, I lived in Europe for 3 years, or I had lived in Europe for 3 years when I was growing up. You get? Because that action was ongoing. I was growing up when I lived there. You get it?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So this one we will change it for an ongoing action, a progressive situation. We will move to the number 3. Let's see what happened.
Have you ever met any famous? No, but last year I saw a TV star on the street. We were both waiting in line for ice cream.
Absolutely correct. That was absolutely correct. Let's go to number 4.
When did you last exercise? Actually, I haven't exercised in months. I was really busy at work, so I haven't had time. No, I have been really busy at work, so I haven't had time.
Very good. That's the correct answer. Because we're talking about a situation that is completed. But remember, when we use this tense, when we talk about present perfect, it means that there is an action that is finished in the time. It started at a certain point and it continues at a certain moment. Okay? So somehow it's a completed action. I have lived in Florida my entire life, but I have lived in Seattle for 2 months. So those 2 months already finished, they already passed. That's a situation that is completed. Very good. And we were going through number 5.
What do you do for a living? Actually, I'm not working right now. I have been looking for a job for 6 months, but I'm not working right now. I had been looking for a job for 6 months, but I didn't find anything yet.
I didn't find anything yet, or I haven't found anything.
Yeah.
I didn't find, because it could be like he stopped looking for the job and he didn't read anymore, or he haven't found anything yet. It means that he didn't find anything, but he kept on going looking for something, correct? Up to this moment. So since we have this here, yet, the most appropriate tense to use will be the perfect tense. I haven't found anything yet. It will be a little bit more grammar appropriate. However, in the speaking situation or spoken circumstance, you can say I didn't find anything yet. Very good. And this is something I want you to listen and I want you to practice. So I'm going to go back to the audio system, because we're going to listen how we reduce questions in English when we speak. Okay. How we reduce those questions. And I'm gonna go back here, and it says that we're in the exercise 3, part A, and it means this.
Page 3. 3. Speaking naturally. Reductions in questions. A. Listen and repeat the questions. Notice the reductions of the auxiliary verbs have, do, are, did, and you. Then, ask and answer the questions with a partner.
How long have you been learning English?
Why are you learning English?
What do you like to do in your English class?
What did you do in your last class?
Okay, do you want me to repeat it so that we can listen one more time?
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, good. So, can you repeat those questions for me?
How long have you been learning English? Why are you learning English? What do you like to do in your English class? What do you do in your last class?
Very good. I love the way it sounds and the way it sounds. But let's try to make a contraction here, omitting this part. Just like putting how long have you been learning English? Like this contraction here. How long you've been learning English? How long have you been learning English? Can you try that, please?
How long have you been learning English?
Why are you learning English?
Why are you learning English?
Yeah. Let's try to omit this and try to put this together. Why are you learning English? Just Y and the R sound. Why are you learning English?
Why are you learning English?
There you go. There you go. You know, it's because in English, when we speak informally, most of the time, we omit or it's not that we omit, but we silent a little bit the sound of the auxiliary verbs. You know what an auxiliary or an auxiliary form is? Yes. You know what is an auxiliary verb?
No.
No? Okay. I like that. I like when you don't know something and I can tell. So auxiliary verbs are the ones that help us form tenses, like have in the perfect tense, do in the simple present, or did in the simple past. They are verbs that help the other verb put in practical tense. So sometimes those are the ones that we contract. Sorry, gotta stop. We make contraction out of those auxiliary forms, and those are the ones that sometimes they are a little bit shorter in sound. Like how have you been learning English? It's like, let me see if I can get my board. I have a board here. I use a bit class. Whenever it starts, it's because I don't know why this is working so slow today.
Ooh, you're using MacBook, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And here we come. So here, for me, this is like a contraction like this. How long you've been learning English, correct? And the same will happen here. Why you... There is like a contraction here while you learn in English. So sometimes these auxiliary forms that help us form questions are the ones that we don't silence. The word that we use is that we minimize. We minimize the sound of those to make it sound a little bit more, I would say, street-like. Okay, good. There we go with our very slow hand. And here we're going to work with a little bit of vocabulary here.
Okay.
We're going to listen to Dan's story and we're going to answer the questions. But before we listen to the questions, would you help me reading the questions? Try to make the contraction here, my dear. Look. Remember what I just told you about having a contraction here. Like, where did Dan live before he moved to Seoul?
Where did Dan... Okay. Where did Dan live before he moved to Seoul? How did he get his job there? Why did he want to go to South Korea? What did his company offer him?
Okay, very good. So now we're going to listen what he has to say about it.
Page 4, Lesson B. It's a long story. 1. Building vocabulary and grammar. A. Listen to Dan's story. Answer the questions.
Living abroad. Dan's story. Dan Anderson was born in the USA. He's now living in South Korea. We asked him, how did you end up living in Seoul?
Well, it's a long story. Before I came here, I spent 3 years working for a small company in Tokyo while I finished doing my master's in business. To be honest, I wasn't planning on leaving or anything. But one day, I happened to be in the office, and one of the salespeople was looking at job ads online. He knew I was considering going to South Korea someday. You see, my mother's South Korean, and I've always been interested in the culture and everything. And anyway, he leaned over and said, Dan, this seems to be the perfect job for you. Check this out. I I looked at the ad and I remember thinking, should I bother to apply? But I decided to go for it, even though I didn't expect to get it. And to make a long story short, I got the job. The company offered to transfer me to Seoul, and they agreed to pay for my Korean language lessons. I started working here 2 months later, and the rest is history. I mean, I miss living in Japan, but you can't have it both ways, I guess. Actually, I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
So, what do you think about that story?
I think it's kind of fun.
Kind of fun. Did you get the answers? Where did Dan live before he moved to Seoul?
I think he was living in like Tokyo.
Okay. How did he get his job there?
His friend found an app and then he applied for it, I guess so.
Hey. Why did he want to go to South Korea?
I think that because his mom is Korean.
Okay. What did his new company offer him?
They will transfer him to South Korea and they will pay for his Korean lessons.